Okay, so I've had to come back live because I had to stop the initial one abruptly. Apologies for that. And I'm also afraid I will not be able to do all the preambles I had to do in the first one. I'll just need to go straight into what I've got today for time's sake. But yes, I'm grateful, super grateful for everyone who joined earlier on, and I truly apologize that it had to go off like that. It had to be disconnected. So this month of May, there are a few things that we're doing. I was talking about NCPS and a few people who celebrated. This month of May is very, very important because this is the month where the world celebrates children. The world celebrates children, and I say to myself that away from or just not leaving things only to May 27. It's not just about May 27. It's about the entire month. It's about the entire year. It's about the entire time of our lives. To look at children, to look at the future, to consider what sacrifices we are supposed to be paying to give them a better future. I know that people have different reasons, different ways of looking at better future. Some people have looked at better future for children in a way that is even hurting the children themselves, but that's not the discussion today. I began a series last week on role modeling in character parenting. Role modeling in character parenting. And the best I could do last week was to give 2 definitions and then to show us some synonyms that help us appreciate it. And we saw really, really fantastic synonyms that showed us other words for role models. Absolutely amazing. We saw things like pattern, we saw things like I'm trying to get it from my head without looking at my note, but now let me look at my note. Yes, like idol, like paragon, like example. Example is actually the most common way you can define a role model. And another word says shining example. Yes, icon. I remember they always talk about icon. They say icon of this, icon of that. Yes, icon. We saw hero, we saw heroine, we saw prototype. Yes, I mentioned pattern earlier on. Ideal, paradigm, epitome, mirror, and like that. So those were words that jumped out at us, whilst we also looked at 2 definitions. And the 2 definitions alluded to these words being words that are very, very integral when it comes to defining who a role model is. At the National Character Parenting Summit this year, 2024, specifically on August 3rd, we will be discussing role modeling in character parenting. What is the role of modeling what you want to parent the child on? How does it work? That is what we will be discussing at the National Character Parenting Summit. So what I decided to do in the month of May, together with the team of Mind Your Character, is to do an extensive travel around that topic. And vis-a-vis the fact that this month we are celebrating children. Remember, it's Children's Day on May 27. So let's just say that RCV, we are celebrating children all through the month. Let's say it's Children's Month as far as RCV is concerned. So last week we saw that a role model is basically somebody who is worthy of being emulated. The word emulation always jumps out. The word example always jumps out when you talk about a role model. But what are the other things that we can learn about who a role model is, particularly when we're looking at it in the light of parents or even educators? So one of the things I said last week Friday was that I will not only be talking about parents, because even the National Character Parenting Summit is not all about just parents. We have educators in the room, and we talk to them, they talk to us about the impact they are also making as parents in school, so to speak. So they are important, and talking about them or looking at things from their angle is also important. So that will be the way we will travel this entire month of May. And I did promise that apart from the Mind Your Character show on Fridays, I would also be doing some posts and talking about growth and talking about moving from one age to another and the importance of having role models. In one of my posts last week, I asked if it was possible for anyone to become a mentor without having first been a role model. It was just 2 words trying to find meaning in my head, and I left it there, and I had feedbacks. So to my mind, a mentor is someone who intentionally holds your hands and walks you through a process that they have also gone through.